where the general election campaign won't be about Brexit. Opposition leader Keir Starmer has made sure of that. But could the widely expected result, a new Labour government, take the UK and EU's relationship to the next level? Well, that's certainly the scenario many in Brussels are now actively preparing for. But currently in the United Kingdom, the Labour Party is still ahead of the Conservatives in polls as per The Guardian, as the general campaign continues. In fact, the latest Sky News poll indicates that the Labour Party is actually, their lead is growing. Well, UK's Shadow Trade Secretary Gareth Thomas is with us on the World 24/7 to discuss the current race in the UK, the future of the graduate route visa programme, and the future of India and UK's free trade agreement. Thank you so much, Mr. Thomas, for joining us. As we speak, the Labour Party has extended its lead over the Conservatives. You managed to maintain a double-digit lead over the Conservatives, but this is as far as the polls are concerned. So how hopeful are you that the British public will repose their faith in your party after over a decade, 14 years? What is it that Keir Starmer and the Labour bring to the table that Rishi Sunak and his Tories haven't been able to?
Well, my sense is that the British people are sick and tired of 14 years of the Tories, but not one of them has yet voted in this election. So I don't think there's anything that we can take for granted. And there have been plenty of elections in the UK in the recent past where apparent big poll leads have actually ended up producing very close election results. 2017, famously, and 1992, similarly, famously bad results for my party. So, whilst we're obviously encouraged by the poll leads, we're not taking anything for granted. In terms of what Keir Starmer would bring as Prime Minister, I think he's changed the Labour Party in a very fundamental way. From 5 years ago when Labour had its worst result since 1930 in the UK. We are very clear we want a stronger relationship with India. We know that India is set to be the third largest economy by 2030, and we see plenty of opportunities for British businesses to work with Indian businesses to create jobs in both our countries. And we think that India's interest in championing new green technologies is definitely another area where we can work together, because I think climate change is one of the big generational challenges that both our countries face. And frankly, we need to work together on that. And I hope Keir Starmer will bring, or I know he'll bring, a determination to that agenda, which has been lacking under Rishi Sunak.
But it's interesting to note the UK's interest in working with India. The big question is it likely to materialise into a free trade agreement? Under the Tories, there have been several rounds of talks, but no FTA. In fact, to cite some crucial figures, the UK, actually, the combined turnover of Indian-owned companies in the UK has more than doubled from £19 billion in 2014 to about £50.5 billion in 2023. The top Indian-owned companies in the UK are significant employers in the market. Where do you see this relationship headed? Is it fair to expect an India-UK FTA under Labour's leadership within the next 2 calendar years, if things are looking up for you on the 4th?
Well, we've learnt from watching the Tories promise to do a free trade agreement by Diwali, and that was 2 years ago, that negotiations can have bumps in the road. But we're certainly keen to look at where the negotiations have got to and what the remaining problems are. And if a deal can be done, we're keen to do it. Because, as I say, we're absolutely certain we want stronger trade links with India. A lot of my constituents are from Gujarat, and that's obviously one of India's fastest growing states. So given those diaspora connections exist already, it seems silly not to try and use those links to build even stronger ties with India.
Well, the other big issue is the graduate route visa program. We know it's here to stay for now, but post the 4th of July. The Labour Party manifesto does not explicitly state your party's take on it, whether it will be abolished or retained as it is. And official statistics have raised concerns. as Indian students show signs of being deterred from applying to British universities. In fact, we've seen a 4% drop in applications. How does the Labour Party plan to fix this? Is this a priority for your party? And is the Labour interested in retaining the graduate route visa program as it is?
Well, we have no plans to abolish the graduate visa scheme. You know, we'll look at every aspect of the immigration system when we get into government, because we want things to work far better than they have at the moment. We're also very conscious that higher education is one of our top routes for earning income and creating jobs here in the UK. And so it is a concern that numbers of applicants from India and from other countries have dropped in terms of coming to the UK, because we're, in a sense, shooting ourselves in the foot by, in a sense, trying to kill off one of our most important export industries, higher education. So definitely keen to tighten up the immigration system, absolutely, but also keen to make sure that we're not cutting off, in a sense, opportunities for people to come and study at world-class institutions here in the UK.
Right. As we wrap, as far as the optics are concerned, Rishi Sunak has been regarded as a rich brat. His £300 Prada loafer sent Daily Mail into a tizzy. Now his £750 Tumi backpack is all over the news. He is one of the most wealthy people to call number 10 Downing Street home. But Keir Starmer, on the other hand, some Tories have attacked Starmer's age. They've called him Sir Sleepy. I know your colleague Wes Streeting has said Keir Starmer would take Rishi Sunak's ankles out in a second on a football pitch. But what do you have to say about the perception battle in the election so far? Is it a fair assessment?
Well, I've seen Keir Starmer in many different guises, and he's passionate, he's fun, he's got a good sense of humour. He's a huge Arsenal fan, I'm delighted to say, as well. But he's very determined as well. He's very disciplined, and he's very collegiate as well. So, you know, I think you're going to see a lot of determination and a lot of discipline in this campaign. But, you know, beneath it all, there's a very passionate and very clever man determined to take our country forward.
Well, the future remains unwritten, but a new chapter in UK history is upon us. Thank you so much, Mr. Thomas, for making time for us and joining us on NDTV.